Shalom. I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone again, and peace and blessing to the brothers out there on the highways and byways who's out there doing the works week in and week out every week. My name's Kanawak from GMS Toronto. Today I'm just doing a lesson in regards to the Israelites that were scattered in Asia. Just a brief lesson regarding some of our people who are scattered in Japan and like China. Because if you didn't know, you had Israelites our people were scattered around the whole world, man. And the elect, when they're gonna be sealed, they're gonna be gathered from the four corners of the earth. Because a part of the curse of Deuteronomy 28 was that we be scattered as a people, if we disobeyed the Heavenly Father's commandments, and that's what's happened to us this day, and that happened to us in the ancient world. I believe that's Deuteronomy 28 verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So you have Israelites who's scattered amongst all nations. When it says people, it's talking about the nation. So when so our people is scattered amongst all these other heathen nations, man. And we're gonna look like the other nations as well. But the thing is that once let's say Israelites is in China or Japan, once their lineage goes back to a so-called black man or any of the tribes of Israel through their father's side, like that makes them an Israelite, So a lot of our people, they don't know that they're Israelites, because they've been scattered amongst these nations, and they speak the language of these other nations. They even look like these other nations, man. But like through the spirit and power of this truth, man, there's all kind of things coming out, man. Ancient artifacts, coming out. When you go to certain museums, I remember going to the Royal Ontario Museum here in Toronto, Canada, and seeing certain relics, because there was like probably like 4 or 5 years ago, they had like an exhibit on on certain dynasties of China, and they had a lot of things on the Han dynasty, Han, the Han dynasty, and there were a lot of black images, which if you don't go into the museum, if you don't know history, you won't even know what the hell you're looking at, man. You'd be like, why the hell is there black people in this Chinese section here of the museum, I noticed that we also took like pictures and stuff. We actually made a video. I don't know if it was deleted off YouTube. There was a guy, he was in part of a camp. He made like a good video, just like showing all the pictures and stuff that we had. But I don't know if it's still on the internet. No, but I don't have those images today. But if you go on the internet, man, this is off the site Pinterest or that app. It's a good app to have, very very interesting, man. Very edifying. It's good to have Pinterest. That's a great app. And this is off my profile, so I created a folder off of the stuff I found. This was like, I had this app for like a couple of years, so this was just over my I'm not even on as much as I used to be, but there's so much information on this website, man, or this app. You guys should check it out, man. But let me get into this article. So okay, this entitled the African presence in the African presence in the ancient Far East. I don't know if it's on Google, because this was a document I printed off like years ago, maybe like 6 to 8 years ago, maybe, man. I printed this off, man, and I have like binders of all these known notes, history, and all these stuff, man. And this is what it says. It says, although the island nation of Japan is assumed by many to have been historically composed of an essentially homogeneous population, the accumulated evidence places the matter in a vastly different light. A Japanese proverb states that for a samurai to be brave, he must have a bit of black blood. All right, so if you know about history and stuff, or you watch certain movies, documentaries and stuff about the samurais, their samurais were black. All right, same with the what do you call these guys right here? What I'm looking at right here, the Shaolin monks and all these stuff. When you look on those walls in those temples or in those cave drawings, you see that they're black, and there's actually monks. There's actually Israelites in who's actually in those Shaolin monks right now to this very day. All right, and there's even documentaries showing you that, man. You know, this was look at this right here, the black Chinese Lord of Justice. All right, and this was a Chinese man painting his face black, so they know. People who's in the know, they know. That's why they have all these secret society, the triads, the Illuminati. There's all these secret council because these people know exactly who we are, man. All right, and they keep us suppressed, you know, and that's why they're able to come over here and prosper, you know, and meanwhile we're oppressed, you know, and we don't have a lot of options, you know. Look at this, Ramsaya or Rasmaya Yasoka or Samurai Africano, you know, samurai warriors. So all this is through the spirit, man. You know, it says for a samurai to be brave, he must have a bit of black blood. Another recording of the proverb is half the blood in one's vein must be black to make a good samurai. And one of the guys' name was Sakanu Tamoro Maro, a black man. You could spell SakanoUye, then separate Tamura, separate Maro. That's the samurai's name. It says a black man became the first shogun of Japan. And if you look up what shogun means, that means basically a military chief. So basically a head of the military, you know. So the very first head of the military or the armies of Japan was a so-called black man, was an Israelite. All right. And it says in China, an Africoid presence is visible from remote antiquity. The Shang, for example, China's first dynasties, are described as having black and oily skin. And like what I said, when I went into the Royal Ontario Museum, I saw a lot of these early dynasties like the Shang, the Han, and all these stuff, and they had like ancient statues, you know, relics, artifacts of these from these dynasties, and they were our people. You know, they had woolly hair, broad noses, you know, and certain of the monuments were damaged, you know, like noses chipped off, you know. They had that woolly hair, that kinky hair. Jamaica, they call that kind of style because a popular hairstyle was like the twist. In Jamaica, they call it chiny bumps, man, which is spiritual, you know. Says Fumain is the name given by Chinese historians, or Funan is the name given by Chinese. It says no, it's like, let me read it. The famous Chinese sage Lao or TZE was black in complexion, you know. And when you there's actually a country right beside China, or like southwest of China, I believe. They're called Laos. and so I know a lot of our people must dwell there as well. We're scattered all over the world, man. But the Lord's gonna sift out the nation of Israel. That's why He said He's gonna sift us out from amongst the nations, man. Because we get Amos 9 and 8. Then I'm gonna close up with that, because that's the time we're coming into, and that's why we're just gonna flood the internet more and more, because we're coming to the end, and this shit could go down any day now, man. And now people's more in mirth, they're blinded. There's all kind of hell breaking loose. There's another shooting in Texas today. So martial law could come to, anything could happen in this time, man. Because the economy is gonna crash eventually. Everything's gonna hit the fan. Shit's gonna hit the fan, pretty so to speak. Everything that we've been explaining to you guys is gonna come to pass, man. This is Amos 9:8. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So the Lord, he's so the Lord's only going to save His elect, and the 1/3 who's amongst the nation. Then all the undesirable of our people are going to be sifted out and go right through that sieve, man. Go right through. Then the ones who's going to be saved are going to be spared, man. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. In that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And when King David was in rulership, we had our foot pretty much on all these nations, man. And we're fucking up those Moabites, those Gooks, those Chinese, those Ammonites, man. We had them underfoot, because we had basically forts over there, man. In those lands, man. When King David was in rulership, and then when King Solomon came to power, we had complete rulership, man, on this earth. On that day I will raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Because under King David, we were all unified as a nation. But once King Solomon died, and he had his sons, or what do you call it? Or there was Jeroboam and Rehoboam. That the kingdom was split. And that's when the kingdom of Israel, that we were divided. And I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. And that's what's gonna come to pass, man. That we're gonna possess you Edomites' land, man. Because Esau, they had their land known as the land of Edom, in the land of south of the land of Canaan, so to speak. South of the land that Judah inherited. And we're gonna inhabit that land, but it was pretty much a barren land, man. It was known as Basra. Now it was also known as Mount Seir, so to speak. Today that land's basically called Jordan now, man. And we're gonna inhabit that land, and it's gonna come back to its full fruition, man. Mount Petra and all these things, and yeah, man, we're gonna inhabit that land, man, and you're gonna build it up, Esau, and you other nations as well, but with that, I'd like to say shalom, and all praises to Yahweh Bashim Ashai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and my name's Kanawak from GMS Toronto, and keep on striving and fighting, man. Fighting for this truth, because we're gonna be attacked on all sides, demonically and by agent provocateurs, So stand strong, man, and remain faithful, man. So with that, I'd like to say Kwam Yasha Allah and Shalom.